Welcome back. A Wyoming sorority sister promising not to give up hope after a judge tossed out a suit filed by Sisters of Kappa Kappa Gamma over the membership of a transgender student. Allison Coghan, a University of Wyoming alumna, along with 6 other current and former members of the sorority, suing the national organization over the inclusion of Artemis Langford last year. Allison Coghan joins us now live on the program alongside Cassie Craven, an attorney representing the sisters in Wyoming. Welcome to you both, and thank you very much for coming on. I've been following this case once the lawsuit was initially filed. I was a member of Greek life myself, so I'm familiar with the sorority environment. But a judge recently ruled, essentially, that the school did not violate any policies by allowing this transgender member to join Kappa Kappa Gamma, essentially upholding this individual's membership. Allison, I wanted to start with you, just get your overall reaction to this latest ruling by the judge.
We were pretty upset by it, I'm not gonna lie, but it just made us want to fight harder for it. It's so much bigger than just the sorority. It has to do with everything for women, women's spaces in general as a whole, not just this one situation. So it's so much bigger than just us, and we're here to fight for all of the young women.
And I understand part of the inspiration behind the lawsuit was how uncomfortable that some of the sisters felt. Again, you're living in this environment. You want to make sure you are in a safe space. Artemis Langford recently went on another cable news network and offered commentary on the latest ruling. Let's listen together.
I'm certainly not the first trans person to ever be attacked by elements in the media to be used. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll be the last, but I want people to know that it's never okay for that kind of scrutiny on a person just because of their identity, just because I'm trans.
Allison, could you respond to that? Was it scrutiny over the transgender identity that you took issue with?
None of us have anything to say about that necessarily. It's so much more than who this person is. It has to do with the fact that we're uncomfortable in our own home. I think people should be able to do what they want and as they please, as long as it keeps to themselves and it doesn't interfere with what we're doing in our own space. And imposing yourself into our space is something that we're not going to stand for.
I wanted to bring in Cassie Craven again, attorney clearly representing these ladies who felt uncomfortable enough to file this lawsuit. Cassie, what's next for these sorority women here, and especially when it comes to future potential new members?
Thank you for having us. You know, the judge dismissed this without prejudice, meaning it could be refiled or it could be appealed. And interestingly, he refused to take up the issue of what is a woman. In fact, he said that the bylaws did not clearly adopt the definition that the plaintiffs wanted, which in our mind is a biological woman. The bylaws have always been clear. Kappa's formation was to enhance the woman's experience in a college environment, which they'd never had previously. So for decades, this sorority has served as a safe space to uplift and unite women. And so this really isn't about transgender inclusion. It's about, should we erase women's spaces altogether? Now, does womanhood mean nothing more than a semantic game where someone can just subjectively believe that they're a woman and so they shall be? So the lawsuit is really much more complicated and nuanced than the opinion reflects. And so from here, the girls are still going to fight. The retaliation by headquarters will not be tolerated, and this will be an ongoing legal battle because it's so important for our daughters to ever have a safe space in the world that they grow up in.
You mentioned retaliation. Allison, is that something that current members are experiencing?
Yes, unfortunately it is. We've seen some retaliation from headquarters, and some of the girls have lost their positions in the House, their officer positions, which should not have happened, and it is just one of the ways that they're retaliating, and another reason that we're going to keep fighting for this and fight even harder.
All right. We're going to keep an eye again on the latest developments in this lawsuit and what happens next for you ladies. Allison Coghan and Cassie Craven, thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.